All right, today we're taking a trip to Hawkins, Indiana to really pull apart a true pop culture phenomenon, Netflix's amazing series, Stranger Things. Let's get into it and figure out how a show about a bunch of kids on bikes became this absolute global sensation.
To really get a sense of just how big this show is, you just have to look at this number. The final season racked up nearly 60 million views, and that's in its first week alone. This isn't just, a popular show. We're talking about one of the biggest English-language debuts in the entire history of Netflix. It's a certified streaming giant.
And when you have that many eyeballs, the value follows. Analysts figure the show has pulled in well over $1 billion for Netflix just since 2020, which, of course, leads to the big question. How? How on earth did a story about kids fighting monsters in a small town become a billion-dollar global powerhouse?
To figure that out, we've got to look past what we see on screen and dive into the numbers, because that's where you see what makes Stranger Things a true juggernaut in the entertainment world.
I mean, the show's real-world impact is just staggering. It's way more than just direct revenue for Netflix, which is already over $1 billion. The show is also linked to more than 2 million new people signing up for the service. And maybe even crazier is the estimated $1.4 billion boost it's given to the U.S. economy. That's production jobs, local spending, the whole shebang. This show isn't just entertainment, it's an actual economic engine.
Okay, so we've seen the what, the incredible numbers, but that just leads us to a much bigger question. Why? What is the secret sauce here? What's in the creative DNA of this show that makes it connect with so many people? Let's break down the formula.
A huge part of the show's magic is its incredible blend of genres. It just so perfectly weaves together science fiction with genuine, jump-out-of-your-seat horror. It wraps all of that in a mystery that keeps you guessing, and then it grounds the whole thing in a really heartfelt coming-of-age story. This mix is brilliant because it gives everyone a way in. You might come for the monsters, but you'll definitely find yourself staying for the characters.
And that's really it, isn't it? At the end of the day, with all the Demogorgons and secret labs, the real anchor of this show is that powerful bond between the kids. It's this universal story about friendship and being loyal and facing these impossible things together. That emotional core is what makes all the supernatural stuff feel so real and so important. It's why the story hits home for millions of people.
The Duffer Brothers also just mastered this incredible balancing act. On the one hand, you get this perfect injection of 80s nostalgia. The music, the clothes, all the little movie references, it just feels so authentic. But here's the key. On the other hand, it's a completely fresh and modern story. It has deep characters and huge stakes that grab audiences who have probably never even seen an arcade machine in real life.
So now let's see how that winning formula actually plays out on screen. To really get it, we've got to take a quick trip to Hawkins and walk through the story itself.
First, you have to understand the one concept that defines this whole series, the Upside Down. It's basically this dark, rotting, terrifying echo of our own world. It's where all the monsters that terrorize Hawkins live. It's such a brilliant and visually creepy idea, and it's the source of, well, basically all the problems in the show.
And the whole thing starts with such a simple, classic hook. A boy named Will Byers vanishes. His friends go out to look for him, and instead they find a mysterious girl with a shaved head and these unbelievable psychic powers, a girl named 11. And from that one simple idea, this entire multi-season epic just spirals out. You can actually track the show's genius just by looking at how the main threat gets bigger and badder each season. Season 1 gave us one single terrifying monster, the Demogorgon. Then that evolved into this massive hive mind creature, the Mind Flayer. And finally, the threat got deeply personal with Vecna, a villain who was smart, strategic, and had a backstory. With each season, the danger didn't just get bigger, it got a whole lot smarter.
So, after all that buildup, after years of fighting monsters and saving the world again and again, well, every story has to come to an end. So let's talk about how this final chapter unfolded and what the show's ultimate legacy is going to be.
For fans, the end of this show was a true cultural event. Netflix even did this really unique rollout for the final season, splitting it up into 3 parts. It was all designed to build up the hype, leading to this massive series finale right on New Year's Eve 2025. It was a strategy meant to make the conclusion feel just as epic as the entire journey.
And what's so important to remember is that this finale did so much more than just end a season. It was closing the book on a story that had been building for nearly a decade.
It had the massive job of giving us emotional resolutions for these characters we've basically grown up with, and finally answering the biggest questions we had about Hawkins and the Upside Down.
Which brings us to our final thought. The show is over, the story is told. But its impact on television, on streaming, on pop culture as a whole is just undeniable. It proved that a story about friendship, layered with nostalgia and horror, could become a worldwide phenomenon. So as the dust finally settles on Hawkins, the real question that's left is, what will its true legacy be?